Happy holidays, video makers! It's Russ Fairley here, and for this Christmas break, we are going to be making a Santa in a snow globe. Grab the assets from the links below, and let's get started. First thing we're going to do is create a new composition in After Effects, and we're going to go with plain old 1080p, 2997, so 30 frames a second, NTSC standard with a 5-second comp. So there we go. And we're going to import a couple of pieces of art that we created. You can see that there's Crazy Santa and Snowglobe are the two we're going to use. Now, I got these images from freeimages.com. Now, what I did was I just tossed the JPEG into Photoshop and did just a quick selection to remove the white background. I could have done it in After Effects as well, but I just chose to do it that way so then I could import a PSD and just our Snowglobe background. First thing we're going to do is drop in our background, which is the Snowglobe. Right click the layer, transform. We're going to fit it to the comp width. There we go, looks fine. And we're going to quickly take the pen tool and we're going to actually first of all duplicate our layer twice. Rename this to glass background, and this one to glass foreground. Fantastique. Now, what we'll do first for the glass background, we're going to solo it, so we're only looking at that layer. Cool. There's our glass background. That one can sit like that. I'm going to click M to take a look at our mask here. We're going to copy that mask. We're going to paste it onto the foreground. So, if we solo the foreground, the RGB, and we're going to add in a snowy background. We're going to choose the ellipse tool with no layers selected. So we're going to be creating a shape layer as opposed to a mask. So we'll draw this on here. We're just making a little background thing for Santa to stand on. So go say like that. Get rid of the stroke altogether because we don't need it. Change the color to, how about like nearly white? You can go totally white if you want, but in my experience, nothing is totally white. Okay, so what I'm going to quickly do, I'm going to drop the opacity. Up top here, I'm going to choose Tool Create Mask. So cool. Now we have a little bit of that. Turn our opacity back up. That's obviously crazy. So we're going to put it between our foreground and background. I'm going to turn our foreground opacity down, say to 25%. So there you go. Now you can see that we can still see glass on top of it because we've got a foreground layer there. Okay, so put that back into place, and we're going to adjust the mask slightly, and we're going to feather our edges. And you can see it sort of pulling in a little bit from the edge. We're gonna contract it a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the idea is that, because we're looking at a snow globe, you don't see it 100% perfect anyways. Let's get Santa into some of this action here. We're gonna drop him in between our foreground and our snow. I'll actually take a second and label our snow so we don't forget what that is. Okay, Santa is humongous. We can right click, transform his comp, say to the width, which will not even get us close. So we're gonna just scale him back because he's such a huge image. He wants to scale really quickly. So we'll put him over here. Let's maybe make him 10%. Maybe a bit bigger. Maybe 12. Great. So Santa is hanging out inside of our snow globe. What we'll do quickly, duplicate Santa, and we're going to solo this one Santa. We're going to Command plus in to scroll around, H to choose our hand tool, and G to switch to our pen tool. We're going to give ourselves a little bit extra on his arm just so it doesn't appear to break when we animate it. And here we just don't care if it's too accurate because we're not going to go anywhere close to his head. And there we go. Now we've got just his arm chosen, so we're going to select the mask and we're going to paste it onto the body. The only difference is that on the body we're going to change it to subtract. So the only thing masked here is everything but what we're going to be waving. Now I'm going to take just a quick second and we're going to move these points out ever so slightly so we don't have an issue with breaking again. Okay, and we're going to take Santa's arm, which we're going to name arm, and we're going to drop it in behind the body. Rename Santa body here. Unsolo, and now it of course looks perfect. Because we're going to be applying a camera later, we're going to make all of these 3D layers and deselect. That looks fine. So we're going to do some rotation. Now to first rotate, we're going to have a slight issue because as you can see, our anchor point is nowhere near where we need it to be. We need it to be right here at the base of his arm. So we're going to, you can hit Y, or we're going to just click on the pan behind tool, grab the anchor point and put it to roughly where we need it to be. Now you'll see if we rotate on the Z axis, the hand waves. So what we'll do, choose an up position. Again, this isn't going to be perfect, but we're going to have some snow in place. We'll jump ahead 10 frames. There we go. That's a jolly cat. All right. And if we find the wave needs to be retimed, we can always alt drag our points back out. So for now, jolly good. Good enough. Okay, so our next step, Santa looks good, standing on his snow. Snow looks kind of nice. Next step for Santa is to make it snow in there. So we're going to import some snow. Now I've got the Next Gen for Editors kit here, but it is basically a 4K version of what you can buy in the Studio Snow version, which you can either get HD or 4K or 5K. So we're gonna go. This is not by fluke. I actually tested all of these, and number one, a little further in, is my favorite. And we're gonna preview really quickly. You can see this is really cool, but as we go further down, it gets really heavy. Amazing. So we're going to import that. We're going to drop it in behind the glass foreground. One of the things we're going to want to change is the transfer mode. So we're going to change it to screen. There you go. You can see a little bit there. So now that we've changed the transfer mode to screen, we can see a little bit, but if we pull back, we can see that that is 4K. So that is 4 times the resolution of 1080p. That is much bigger than we need it to be. But we want this big resolution because it looks that much crisper when it's scaled back to normal HD. So what we're going to do is we're going to fit it to comp, which will scale it back. Then we're going to add an effect. So I click on my effects and presets. I've typed in sphere here, and we're going to add the CC sphere effect to the snow. And we're going to move the footage forward so we can get it to where there is a lot of snow going on. We're going to solo this layer. You can see that our sphere has given us an odd size. So what I'll do is I can turn on our glass background as well, turn the opacity down, and we can then adjust our CC sphere snow layer into the correct spot. I like to leave a little bit around the edge, but heck, you can do it however you like. No rules. Cool. Okay, you can see now how bad my pen tool work was, but that's at least in the right spot. And so now if we look, there's snow falling in a spherical manner inside the globe. Now again, later on there's way more snow, so what we're going to do is we're going to just keep dragging it over until we like what we see. Cool. I like that. I'd like it even more if there's more of it. Great. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually make a few more duplicates of this layer. So we're going to duplicate it one more time. And we're going to right click, choose transform. And we're going to flip horizontal. And that's going to create a mirror image on this side. So if we look now, it's obviously, you can see now that it's coming down. You can offset the timing a little bit too if you want it to look a little less uniform but doing the same thing. So probably a little more natural. Then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate each one of these one more time. We'll put them down below, right click, transform with both selected, and we're going to flip vertical. These are going to give us the same thing but coming upwards. Again, you can offset the timing so they don't match perfectly. Then what you probably want to do is just maybe lower the opacity, because this would probably be, you know, snow particles that are swishing up around the other side as these ones up close swish down the front. Okay, so what we've got basically now is this. Okay, so you can see now that this is working pretty well. I mean, his waving is a little crazy and fast, but you can retime that however you like. Also, because these are shot at such high frame rates, you can slow down your snow substantially as well. We've chosen a very quick section in the footage. Okay, if we take a look, this is how it fits within the frame. Then it's up to you if you want to do something like adding, say, a camera, and then maybe like a null object to steer the camera a little bit. Quickly parent the camera to the null object, and then if you want, so if you have a null in place and you've changed it to a 3D layer, then you're free to do things like zooming in, panning over, so you can create smooth camera moves if you choose to, just to add a little bit of, you know, creative effect to it. Thanks for watching. This has been Russ Fairley for Videomaker. Now have a safe, warm, and happy holiday season.